Cathy. Welcome to my channel. Here I talk about fashion, luxury, beauty, lifestyle, all things that women love, especially me. Today I'm going to be talking about buying pre-owned luxury items. So I'm just going to jump right in. And I know you're asking, some people are going to ask, like, why would I even buy pre-owned? It's somebody else will buy it, or, you know. For me, I think there's really 4 reasons why. Usually reason number 1 for me is it's sold out. Like I like luxury sneakers, and oftentimes one day there's a drop, it's a limited amount of items, and I come up with a big fat L. So I have to go in and look for it on the pre-owned, or resale market. And that's becoming more and more common nowadays, especially with everybody wants to be a reseller. Everybody wants to sell on StockX or Goat or whatever, or eBay. 2, for me, is price. Sometimes something that somebody had last year or even, 6 months ago is going to be cheaper than buying it retail. I will say for certain brands like Chanel, Chanel is usually above retail, and that's because they do price increases and they appreciate. Hermes is the same way. A lot of other brands, like let's say Gucci or Louis Vuitton, it may be under retail. Not always. Sometimes Nike, there are going to be certain items that are going to be above retail, and they're probably going to be maybe 2 to 3 times retail. But most items are going to be under retail. So another reason for me. Another thing is you've realized that, you're looking on IG and your favorite influencer has something, you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. You Google it, you find out it's a style from 2018. Well, if you still want it, you can definitely find it. And that's, for me, reason number 3. Reason number 4 is you prefer vintage quality. I would say for me, in terms of, let's say, even Chanel or a Louis Vuitton, I've noticed the difference in the quality. The leather for Chanel is a little bit different. I know in Chanel, I prefer the 24 karat gold plated that on the CCs from the older styles. Now they do what is considered more of a champagne gold, which is a little bit of a lighter. I prefer my gold blingy. So I do prefer that vintage quality gold. Also, I know with Louis Vuitton, I have a bag here from 2006. I also have an Agenda. I've touched the more recent bags. The quality of the canvas, even though it's canvas, it's different. Mine is also made in France. A lot of the ones now are made in the US. As years go by, because they still want to make bags at a price in line with inflation. As years go by, the quality slips every couple of years. So for me, I can just tell the difference between a 2006 Louis Vuitton versus a 2019 Louis Vuitton. It's the brass, it's the canvas. So for me, those are the 4 reasons. So now, okay, you've decided, these are good reasons, but you really have to ask yourself, is buying pre-owned luxury items for you? Because I've met a lot of people who are like, I don't want anything that anybody else has owned. I like the fact that somebody else has touched it or anything weirds me out. Those are the people I say, get on the list, make sure that you are always first in line, and you'll get your item, or work with a personal shop. I will say it's a lot more work to buy pre-owned luxury. I would rather just go into the store all the time and just buy what I want. If there's a pair of shoes I want, just give them my credit card. Unfortunately, brands are making limited quantities, and part of that is for pricing. Part of that is they want to drive demand. If there's 100,000 people that love this particular item, but they only made 50,000 people are going to either go without or try to, get it. It's just supply and demand. But it's more work. There's more research. Sometimes you won't even be able to see the item. You've seen it, but authentication. Like for me, I always assume items are fake. I assume what I see. If somebody's selling something, there's a part of me that's like, it could be fake. And there's some things that I'll talk about later on how to figure out if the item you're getting is legit, or try to make it, I guess, that it's more authentic. I feel like the only way, 100% way to know that something is authentic is if you buy it from the retail store of the brand. So let's say you want to make sure that your Chanel flap is, your Chanel classic flap is real, buy it from a Chanel boutique. That's the only way, 100%. Every other way, you're gonna have to do some research, some legwork. It is more work. You need to figure out, is it worth it for you, or are you just one of those people that I'm gonna try to get it in store or on the day it drops, and if I don't get it, I don't get it. Either way, it's all about figuring out, what are you willing to do? How much work are you willing to do? If you're not about the hunt, pre-owned luxury is maybe not for you. So now that you figured out that buying pre-owned luxury is for you, and you find something that you see something on Instagram you like, what do you do next? Like, I know for me, with this bag, I think it was 2019, this bag was all over Instagram. It's Bottega Veneta pouch bag. Daniel Lee had just come out with his first collection for Bottega, and everybody was buying these bags, and on IG with pictures. I was spitting. First picture I saw, I think this is the first picture I saw. After I saw that, I was on the hunt to try to figure out a lot of things about it. I needed to know what color this was. I needed to know what size it was, because this bag actually comes in 2 sizes. There were so many variables that I needed to figure out. I also didn't know if this bag was actually going to suit me. I feel like I saw it in the summer of 2019. It wasn't until Thanksgiving of 2019 where I actually was able to see and touch this bag in person at a Bottega store. I saw it, I touched it. It wasn't the right color. The color I wanted was sold out. I almost bought one that was like an army green color like this, but I realized it wasn't the one I wanted. So I just kind of let it go. And that's often going to be the case for you. You are going to have to figure out so many variables of what's the color I want? What's the size I want? Does this style work for me in my wardrobe? And also even your lifestyle. Like, this bag is not for everybody. This bag is good for me because I'm one of these people that's like walking down the street with it underneath my arm. But you could be a person that you love this bag, but every other bag you own is a shoulder bag. And the moment you get this, you're like, there's no freaking strap. What am I gonna do? It won't fit your lifestyle. So a lot of these things you might not know, because if the bag is sold out, how would you know? How would you know? A lot of that is part of the buying the pre-owned luxury process. Figuring out, is this the right bag for me? There's so many variables, and for me, it probably did take me until I saw the bag, the army green bag, 6 months later, to realize, okay, this is the right color for me. And even when I got the bag, I was like, it'd been so long since I'd seen the bag in person that I was like, is this the right color? Sometimes I look at it like, oh, did I get the right color? There's a color that's very similar to this that's like a mustard. And that was my fear, because I almost bought it, but I knew something was off. This is definitely, even now, I'm looking at this bag on video. It looks totally different. It's definitely a camel colored bag, but it looks a little bit different on camera. And that's just the reality of it. And that's one of the things that's going to make it a little bit harder for you to figure out, is this item right for you? But you have to do that legwork. All right, so now you figured out you want to do this. You found your dream item. You need to buy it from a reputable place. For me, I tend to use reputable place. Every so often, I know that there's a subset of people who do sell things on Instagram. I have bought one thing from Instagram. I had a good experience, but it was $100, fancy customized face mask, not a $3,000 bag. I know people who have bought bags via somebody on Instagram. It's been great. I also know other people who it was awful. I tend to, if it's your first time, I always tell people, go through somebody reputable. And so reputable places that I've utilized before, I've utilized StockX. What I like about StockX is that it allows you to make bids. You can buy and sell. Goat is another option. I like Goat because if you see something, you can buy it at the price you want, they also sell used items. StockX only sells brand new, basically new with tags. I've also purchased from eBay and a place like TradeC. I like them in terms of pricing, great pricing. They have more work in terms of figuring out who is on the other side. If you're dealing with StockX Goat, you have an intermediary of a brand like that says, okay, this thing is authentic, it's new, it lives up to the quality that has been advertised. For eBay, TradeC, some of these other ones, Poshmark, where you're dealing directly with somebody, you don't always know. I will say for Poshmark, for items of a certain threshold, it will go through authentication. But I've also tried to buy from Vestiaire Collective. You just need to find a place that is reputable and works for you. And for me, like I said, I prefer places that I'm not dealing directly with a person going haggling back and forth. I will do it on occasion if I can't find it. Like I bought some stuff on eBay. eBay is not my preference. Everybody's different. I have a friend, she loves eBay. She loves the haggling. She loves that back and forth. Not the kid. Not me at all. I hate it. I even hate selling on Poshmark just for that reason. It's like, this is my price. So, and what I'll try to do is I'll do some comparisons side to side of some of these retailers on a different video. See if you never utilize one, gives you a better idea. But for now, find a reputable place to buy. And for me, I think I've bought most of my stuff from StockX. I've also done The Real is another place that's reputable. The Real is similar to what I would consider an online consignment store. People go, they sell their items they give their items to The Real. When it sells, they get paid. Sometimes with the Real, I feel like the biggest complaint I've heard from The Real is that condition is not always as advertised. I've had a good experience like this. I have this old Celine double bracelet that I love, and I've bought a couple things like small accessories from The Real. I've been happy. It's been as advertised, but I've had a lot of people who bought purses there and said that the quality is not as advertised. No, the number one thing of any place reputable that you do buy from, know their return policy. Like, I can't stress that enough. Regardless of where you buy, know the return policy, whether it's final sale or you got 30 days, know it before you buy. And it makes things so much easier. It allows you to make an informed decision. Authentication, research, all of it goes together. I always say when it comes to buying pre-owned luxury items, assume it's fake until proven authentic. Scam likely, especially if the price is too good. But how do you know? For me, there's a lot of things that I do prior to. I bought a pair of sneakers that were completely sold out. So what I do, sometimes you can go and see it. Like for me, for sneakers, I live near a store called Stadium Goods. Stadium Goods allows you to see the stores, see the sneakers. They're wrapped in plastic, but it gave me a better idea of a lot of these shoes, of what they look like. I can't touch them because they are wrapped in plastic, but sometimes that's the case. But I always say go see even a similar style. If you like Prada, go to a Prada store. Touch that nylon, touch the Chanel leather, touch the caviar, touch the lambskin. You need to know what a real Chanel bag feels like, the dimensions, the weight. Only dealt with dupes before, there's going to be a difference. You might not know. You need to elevate your sense of touch. I know for myself, I worked as a stylist, and I went from, I was touching luxury items often, and now if you give me something that's a dupe or a luxury item, I can usually tell. Like 90% of the time, if you give me something, I'm like, oh yeah, this is real or not. You need to do that research. You need to touch, you need to watch. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, especially for things like sneakers. Sneakers, there's fine details that are included in, like maybe authentic, that might not be in what they would consider a fake. And in this research, you're often also gonna have to research what I would call a super fake. These are fakes that are so good that 90% of the people would not know the difference. There's a lot of really good videos that will show you, like, where, you know, serial numbers should be, where tags should be, where, you know, in anything that definitively tells you that this is a real bag. There's a lot of YouTube videos for that. Also, take a look at other listings. Just research the hell out of this bag or shoe or accessory, because you never know. Because I know plenty of people who've purchased something, they thought it was real, they weren't really sure, they're just like, oh, it's not that much, and then, you know, a couple months later they're like, oh, I saw a real one, mine is fake. That feeling bothers you. It feels like, you know, you've been taken advantage of. So in order to not have that feeling, make sure that you know what you know as much as about the item you want before it's in your hand. Finally, you've done all the things. You found something that you want at the price you want to pay from a reputable place. It goes through, whether it's authenticated or not, it comes to you. Most places will give you, even if it's final sale, will give you a refund if it's not as, you know, if the item is not as described. So what I always tell people is, when you get this item, inspect it. Like this bag right here, I smelled it. I did everything. I opened it up. I watched videos. I held it next to me. Do whatever you need to do. You know, look at stitching. Like, oftentimes fake items won't have good stitching. Look at seams. Like luxury items, the seams tend to match up. Everything. Watch multiple videos. Do all the things. If you feel like the item that you have has passed all of those things, then you're good. You've now purchased the luxury item that you wanted, and you can kind of move on and start this process again. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's a particular source or site or companies that you would like me to talk about more about the buying process, authentication, anything in this process that you feel like you want more information on. Let me know in the comments. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I actually enjoyed doing it. This is a topic I like. Make sure you subscribe. Thumbs up my video. I'll see you next time. Bye.